So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the all-new Motorola Edge, currently on sale for only $500. Some of the top features for the Edge. This is one of their first 5G phones. It's powered by the Snapdragon 765 processor, 6 gigabytes of RAM, 256 gigabytes of storage. It's got a 6.7 inch, a 90 hertz display. Hard to imagine, we're almost up to 7-inch phones now. They're advertising 2 days of power with a 4500 milliamp hour battery. Plus it's got an 18 watt turbo power charging, and it's also got 2 stereo speakers. This also has Bluetooth 5.1, and it also has NFC. As far as I know, there's only going to be one color. This is called Solar Black. So just by going on the specs, this phone definitely has a lot going for it. If you look in the description of the video, I'm going to leave a link to buy this, plus more information. So let's open it up and see what we've got. Okay, it definitely feels really narrow. This is actually really easy to handle for almost a 7-inch screen. Okay, so it does come with a clear case, so that's nice to see. Sort of a smoked gray color. Quick start guide and warranty information, SIM card ejection tool, and fast charging brick. And here's your USB-C charging cable. First thing I notice on this phone is it's really narrow, which I guess makes it easier to handle. It's really tall and narrow. Build quality on this thing looks really nice. Super shiny glass back. You've got your 4 cameras on the back, along with the flash. It's kind of weird not to see the fingerprint scanner where the Motorola logo is. So there on the top is where your SD card goes, and microphone. Right hand side is your power and volume buttons. I gotta say, this phone is definitely a little more unique as far as shape goes. It's very tall and narrow, but yet still kind of thick. And then on the bottom, you got a headphone jack, USB-C charging port, and speaker. Overall, I really like what I'm seeing here from Motorola. Wow, when they say Edge, they're not kidding. Just check out how the display wraps all the way to the sides. That's definitely a little more extreme than on my OnePlus 7 Pro. Hopefully that doesn't cause any issues when using apps. And then get a hole punch selfie camera up in the corner. You've also got a speaker where the earpiece is. So first let's go ahead and put this case on before I scratch this up too much. I just can't imagine dropping this thing. Look at this case. I think this might be the first Motorola phone I've used with the fingerprint scanner built into the screen. Now right out of the box, it does use the gesture navigation, but if you don't like that, you can just switch to 3-button navigation. So they've got this feature called Edge Touch, where you can double tap or swipe on the action bar for quick shortcuts. I don't know guys, just this whole wrapping around the edges, that might be a little bit too much edge for me. Okay, so I do like that it's got lights along the edge for alarms, notifications, incoming calls. Now that I can understand and actually looks pretty cool. It allows you to move the position of where the Edge shortcuts are. And then once you get that open, you can go to settings and then you can pick which apps you want shortcuts to. You can also set the refresh rate to be auto, or you can say 60 Hz or 90 Hz at all times. You can personalize with styles. Okay, so it looks like they've got night vision. Plus, it looks like they've got all the Moto actions that they've had before. And yeah, there's a ton of them. So right out of the box, I'm only using about 16 gigabytes of the 256 gigs available. This is on Android 10, security patch June 1st, 2020. So the software looks a lot like all the other Motorola phones I've tried so far, which I actually like. It's really close to stock Android. Swipe left on the home screen and you're going to get your Google News feed. Up in the notification shade, you've got Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, you've got night light, battery saver, auto rotate, a lot of the normal stuff here. And then you've also got your system update, screencast, and share feedback. Now when you swipe up to access all the apps, nice thing about Motorola, they don't add a lot of bloatware. It looks like a few apps from Google, which I would probably use anyway. And then just a couple apps from Motorola. I don't know, to me this seems very similar to phones that have an S Pen or stylus, but without having the stylus, I don't know, are people really going to be using that? But the quick charge is really good. It took about 1.5 hours to charge from 0 to 100%. And when testing this phone in gaming, yeah, you could tell this was no budget device. Okay, speakers on this phone definitely has to be one of the best phones that I've heard so far. The speaker and the earpiece and at the bottom are both really nice and loud. Let's take a quick look at the camera app. You're gonna get quite a few modes on here. You've got portrait, cutout, macro, spot color, night vision, cinematograph, panorama, ultra res, and live filter. Then you've also got 3 video modes: macro, slow motion, and time lapse. The resolution on here looks really good. Up at the top you've got HDR, flash, timer. You can turn active photos on and off. You've got auto or manual. Within the settings, you've got a few options for photo size and aspect ratio. You can shoot up to 4K Ultra HD on this. It'll also shoot Full HD at 60 frames per second. Now when shooting video on the selfie camera, it only goes up to Full HD. It's got Auto HDR. You've also got a selfie photo mirror. Quick capture, tap anywhere to capture. It also has an auto smile capture, gesture selfie, where you just show your palm to take a selfie. Now here's a few samples of photos and video just to give you an idea of what to expect from the Motorola Edge. Overall, I'm really impressed with the photos that I could take with this phone. Not only is the main camera really nice and sharp, and it really blurs the background, sort of like a portrait mode, without even going into portrait mode. Another thing that really impressed me was the macro mode. You'll see in a couple flower photos just how close you can get and all the details that you normally don't get with the normal lens. Now this is considered mid-range specs, so it's a little bit faster than the OnePlus 6, not quite as fast as the Redmi K20 Pro, and then the multi-core scores at 1852, which is a little bit slower than OnePlus 6, and a little bit faster than the Pocophone F1. But for me, regardless of what those scores are, I gotta say, this thing feels really smooth. Now I played a few games on here like PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile, and Asphalt 9. And again, everything's really nice and smooth. You don't have to worry about seeing grass or trees starting to populate as you play. Overall, everything's nice and smooth. It's really nice to have loudspeakers plus a headphone jack. So it really doesn't matter which way you're playing, you're definitely going to enjoy gaming on the Motorola Edge. Here's some more game footage just to give you an idea of what it looks like. So hopefully this video gave you a little more info on the Motorola Edge. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are and how you like the curved edge on cell phones. As for me, I could probably do without. So I think overall the Motorola Edge is a really solid device, especially if they would keep it around the $500 price. I think much more than that, it's going to be a hard sell with the specs that it has, just because I know a lot of people go by specs only. But to me, I'm really impressed with this phone so far. But for me, I don't know if I really need the edge that they're advertising and what they're calling this phone. I guess they had to have some kind of feature that might get people interested. So I don't know, I guess it depends if you liked curved displays. Well, this one's definitely curved and maybe a little more than most other curved displays. I know it's definitely more than my OnePlus 7 Pro. I think it might be something that I could adjust to eventually. But man, I just can't imagine dropping this phone. It just feels so fragile, and I can only imagine the cases for this because you're probably not going to be able to find something to protect the entire display. But overall, I like the performance of the phone. The software is really great from Motorola, as usual. I think I might even like it better than on Samsung devices. And even the camera on this device is really good. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.